Welcome, everyone. This is Cards and Coffee with Colleen and Kathi. This is May 2024 edition. And Kathi and I started doing this a very long time ago. I won't go into all the sordid details, but we love getting together. We love sharing our gifts with other people and sharing messages with other people. Usually what we do is we start out just briefly talking about the collective messages, and then we will go through and into kind of randomly choosing people from the Zoom studio audience to do a mini reading for. So I am a starseed astrologer, an intuitive reader. I use Akashic records, astrology, name vibration, whatever your angels and guides are saying, et cetera, and also do a lot of healing work and doing a lot of teaching work and classes as well. I'm going to let Kathi briefly introduce herself, and then we'll get into talking about some of the collective energies before doing some mini readings. Kathi?
So I'm Kathi Munson. I am an intuitive as well, and a seer, and also a healer, past life regressionist. Oh my goodness, just so many things, so many tools in the toolbox is what I'll say. I'm also the owner of Voices of Enlightenment. I have been on this path for 22 years, very enlightened. That's how I met this lovely soul sister that I work with here, Colleen. I'm very blessed and honored to do so. I'm very blessed and honored to be here today.
Yay. And since Kathi mentioned Voices of Enlightenment, I'm going to mention my website is Sacred Soul Empowerment. And you can find everything there as well. And also my YouTube channel. If you want to check out free weekly and monthly readings for the collective on my YouTube channel, it's under my name. So as far as the collective energies, I did a little meditation here. We've got some messages for the collective. I will say astrologically, we're heading towards a new moon in Taurus. So any of you Taurus people out there, or anybody that's another earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, this new moon is for you. But new moons are all about new beginnings. And in Taurus, it's interesting because Taurus is a money sign. It's about money and finances. And bringing things into manifestation, but it's also about our sense of self-worth and embodying this sense of value within ourselves. So as we're approaching this new moon, some of that stuff might be coming up as far as, are you holding your value, and do you feel worthy and deserving of abundance and prosperity in your life? And then as we move into that new moon cycle after Tuesday, when we have the new moon, we can actually plant seeds and set our intentions for what it is that we want to nurture and grow, because Taurus is an earth sign. And so visualize planting your seeds in the earth. And then what do? We have to water them and make sure they have sunshine, make sure they have love in order to allow those seeds to kind of take sprout and grow into something. The other thing astrologically that I'll just quickly mention is that towards the end of this month, we're going to have Jupiter going into Gemini. What does that mean? Jupiter is the planet of abundance and prosperity and growth and expansion. Also rules higher learning and knowledge and wisdom from the higher realms. And as he moves into Gemini for the next year, he's actually going to be in Gemini for 1 full year. And Gemini is all about our thoughts, our ideas, our perceptions, and communication and networking and all of that wonderful air realm, mental realm stuff. So Jupiter's going to expand that. Jupiter's going to expand our ability to collaborate with other people, network with other people, come up with great, wonderful new ideas. And I'm really looking forward to Jupiter moving into Gemini, actually. So from the messages in my meditation for the collective, now again, this pertains to everybody, but they were talking about Neptune, and I was like, Neptune, they were talking about sensitivity, increased psychic abilities, increased empathic abilities, connecting more with our healing abilities within ourselves. And then I thought in my head, Neptune actually astrologically is in the last degree of Pisces. When a planet is in the last degree of a sign, it really magnifies and intensifies the energies of that sign for that planet. And so Neptune being in the last degree of Pisces, and Pisces is this ruler of the spiritual realm and our psychic intuition and our healing abilities and our dreams and our ability to connect with our angels and guides. So I feel like on a collective level, we're all really being magnified and moved into this higher ability to connect with those higher spiritual realms. They were talking about rebirth and our DNA, karmically speaking. So I feel like there's, and we always have downloads, uploads, activations. We just came out of eclipse season and a Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, astrologically speaking, and that really activated a release and a purge and a clearing of a lot of karmic energies, circumstances, situations from other lifetimes that we've lived, and even this lifetime. And it activated dormant DNA for ourselves. So they really talked about this rebirth and this renewal and this completion of a cycle and moving more into confidence, courage, leadership, bravery, believing in miracles. They talked about our purpose and moving into a sense of what is our purpose, what are we here to do on this planet in this lifetime. We all have, a different mission. We all have different purpose, and maybe not just one purpose. There's the purpose on a collective spiritual level, like who am I out in the world? And then there's a purpose regarding our own personal evolution and growth. So I think they were talking about both of those. And the last thing I think that I'll say here as I'm trying to remember everything that occurred was there was an energy of like the ancient Atlanteans that came in, and this was, of course, there was different factions in Atlantis in the time of Atlantis, just like there is on the planet now. There are those in power and control, and there are those of us that are the light workers. And it was kind of a similar energy in the time of Atlantis, but this was talking about our evolution vibration. This was talking about acceleration, both in our personal journey on the planet, our soul evolution and growth, but also an acceleration with technology, for one, which we're already seeing, an acceleration with moving into a future or higher dimensional paradigm rather than the one that we're currently kind of attempting to move out of, basically, those lower energies that deal with again, the patriarchal system, let's just say. So, the Atlanteans of the highest vibration of light came in and said that they are definitely assisting the planet. And I'm going to pass it over to Kathi for any messages she got for the collective.
Yeah, I'm just sitting over here giggling, and because Colleen and I tend to sync in some ways with what we talk about. So it's funny, a lot of water analogies have come to me lately. So when you said Atlanteans, I'm like, well, yeah, of course, that would be one. That would be why. And just sort of like a lot of, because we're escalating to this vibration, and we're escalating to become the better us, as I will put it, into that more intuitive, that more healing, the more elevated levels to all of that, of all of who we are, the divine guidance of who we are meant to be here. It's a lot of like that healing continuing. So even though we tend to talk and make it sound very simple and easy, there's still a lot that's going on. Like people are not, there's a lot of like ascension, body ascensions, things that are happening. So like not being able to sleep properly, either you're sleeping like a rock, but then you wake up in the morning and feel like you haven't slept at all, or you're not sleeping at all and you're totally exhausted all the time. So it's sort of allowing yourself to go through the flow of that. So I keep using the analogy of the wave. For me, I'm a very visual person, so I tend to see a lot. And I keep seeing that, that everything around us is communicating as one, even though it feels as though we're I'm trying to think of what the word I want to use, pulled apart in some way. It really is aligning yourself and coming to you and sort of taking that thought process of how can I be the best person that I can be today, knowing what I know right now in this moment. And of course, always wanting to excel and move into that energy and want to flow and evolve and grow and passionately with everything. But you don't have to know it all right now. It's, we're going through like a massive change. And so, of course, we're going to have all these things that are sort of going to peak in and sort of be like, okay, I'm feeling really off today. I keep feeling like I'm in the in-between. That's the biggest way that I can do it. I'm not really grounded to this earth to where I am right in the moment, but I'll have this sort of surreal, like I'm sort of, okay, I'm not really here. I'm sort of like in between looking at something else. And and but it's allowing yourself to just be there and saying, what am I meant to learn from this? Where do I want to grow and evolve from this? And allowing yourself to walk through that. And so that's why if you're seeing people around you and noticing it within yourself that you feel off in some way, that people are talking about things and you're just like no longer connecting with that, it's like allowing yourself that process of being able to grow and evolve and soar through all of that. But to the best of your ability, we have to remember there is still this human part of us that's here, our spiritual being. So we're a spiritual being having a human experience. So, the spiritual being is becoming almost amped up and more escalated right now. So in your human body, if you're not feeling like, hey, what's really going on here? Because like, I feel like I'm disjointed in some way. It's a normal process to go through, and finding things that keep peace around you. I love the ocean. It's just where I love to be, watching water, taking a shower, anything to do with water. Like I'll take any water I can get in the moment, but allowing what brings you joy. I've also noticed a lot of activity through animals, like watching. I had this turkey vulture yesterday that was literally flying in front of my windshield of my car, like it was leading me to a path. Things like that, noticing so much beauty is happening around us. And if we get too conformed and too confined in what we're doing, you're missing so much of what's happening. So keep yourself in that broad perspective of like, okay, yes, I need to work on myself. Yes, I need to evolve and grow and gain insight into where I want to be and what I want to do. But there's this beauty also that's happening around. Like the people that you're connected with, the people that you align with, your soul tribe. If they're not helping you to grow on your path, I hate to say this, but let them go figure it out. Let them go figure it out. If they're meant to be friends with you, they'll come back. And I'm seeing a lot of that evolving again. And not saying that you're any better than them. That's not what it's about. It's allowing each other to stand where each other needs to be. But the biggest thing is really working with yourself, being very selfish to work with yourself. So that then when you come to help others, like a lot of you that are on today are here to help other people, then you're going to know how to be able to help them because you've allowed yourself to grow and evolve and go with it and go forward with it. We've got a couple of years that we're going to be going and sort of having these peaks and valleys. So we have to sort of just not get so serious in it. And trust me, there are some of you on here that know me pretty well that I tend to be la, 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 let's have some fun. Let's do that. Like, let's do what we do and learn what we learn, but let's have some fun with it. Like, let's not get so caught up in the severity of it all, because sometimes it just allows you to learn so much more when you're able to just be in the moment. And flow is another big word that keeps coming to me through spirit, is just flow. I always joke and say, flow, oh, I know her well, that kind of thing. But just flow and allow yourself to evolve in the way that's right for you. Not everyone is going to connect in the exact same way, but we have these similarities that are connecting. And so that's how we are all here. And the more that we can get together to help support each other through all of this, that's one of the most important things I keep getting. I keep being told, bring them together, gather them together, keep pulling them together. And I keep saying to Spirit, okay, I got stuff out there. You need to bring them. I can't just go around and grab everybody's hand and say, come on in. But that's all right, because those of you that are on today are going to be the ones that will pay, that will be able to help, not pay, that will be able to help those that are coming forward and be able to benefit. And that's why you're here. That's why we're all here, to continue to support each other and help guide each other in the best way that we know how. So that's a lot of what's coming through for me. So hopefully that helps.
Just a couple of things to bounce off of what Kathi was saying. A few things, it kept going back to when I brought up Neptune, which is the planet that rules the spiritual realm. And she's talking about flow, and Neptune is about going with the flow. And, she was talking about the water, and Neptune rules the water. He's the king of the ocean, right? King Neptune with his, whatever, his little trident. But Neptune, can also be about the dissolution of boundaries. And so just like Kathi was saying, it's like, am I here? I'm here on some level, but I'm also up here, and, I'm viewing things from a higher perspective, and I kind of feel like I'm in and out. And that's kind of a Neptunian thing. And with Neptune, again, being at that last degree of Pisces, it's really heightening this moving in and out of the realms kind of thing. Pay attention to your dream time, because Neptune does rule our dream time, and it's going to heighten our dreams. You might have prophetic dreams, or it might be healing dreams. But Neptune is about unconditional love, unconditional compassion, unconditional forgiveness. You know, we are all one, which is the lack of boundaries thing with Neptune, right? Because we are all one. We're all in this together, like Kathi was saying. So, you know, I just wanted to kind of bring that up a little bit more so that everybody, you know, realizes the energy dynamics that we're in are really huge. I mean, the eclipses really started a huge shift in evolution and growth on the planet. And that shift is not just when the eclipses happen, but will occur for the weeks and even the months yet to come in 2024. Especially until we get to the next set of eclipses, which is in the fall of this year. But this is an important year. And like Kathi said, the next couple of years, we're going to be in a lot of kind of this completion and new beginning mode. 2025 to 2026, there's going to be a lot of completion and new beginnings that are happening for us. I mean, not that there isn't always endings and new beginnings, but we're going to see it a little bit more intensely and positively on an expanded level. All right, so this is how this goes. If this is your first time to Cards and Coffee, you can either raise your etheric hand or you can raise your real hand if you're on camera. If you want a mini reading, we will not be able to get to everyone because Kathi and I, you know, only do this for about an hour. So at the top of the hour, we might, you know, be able to get in 3 or 4 people, and we just kind of let spirit guide us to whoever it is that is going to be chosen. So, Kathi, I'm going to let you choose first. And somebody that I don't know their name, but they are MLA Lovebug 31 says she's new here. So welcome. Thank you for coming.
Welcome.
All right, Kathi, do you want to choose somebody? And by the way, we'll ask for your date of birth and whether or not you want a specific question answered, if you have something specific you want to ask, or if you just want something in general.
Yeah, I was guided to Faith.
Faith.
Kind of an interesting
All
way to put that.
right. Okay, Faith. What is your date of birth, Faith?
January 25th, 1987.
January 25th, 1987. And do you have a specific question or just to see what comes up from your guides and angels?
I would just like to see what comes up.
All right. And Kathi, take it away.
So Faith, the very first thing I keep getting for you is a journey, like travel, a journey. Like I keep getting those two things in particular. There's a lot of like, and I feel like there's the etheric journey, you know, like you're definitely on a journey of, it's so funny, endings and new beginnings is the thing that keeps coming into my head. So it's sort of like allowing yourself to come into that, allowing yourself to grow and evolve. And it keeps showing me sort of stepping forward and then stepping back, like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, like that sort of feeling. Would you understand that, Faith? Hello? Are you there?
Yeah, I can say I connect with that. Yeah.
Okay. There's also like a lot of, like, I feel like there's a lot of dynamic as far as like your physical presence of what you're doing for yourself. So I don't know if you're like assessing food and figuring out like things that work for you, things that don't, as far as like the actual visually eating, the actual food part of aspect of what you do, of what you intake is what I mean to say. But there's something about you like looking at that and sort of getting yourself out into nature more often, because I feel like you've sort of kept yourself, or you don't have the time to be able to get out as much as you would like to. But there's something they keep showing me, you like sitting down and putting your back against a tree, you know, like just taking that moment to just kind of be part of nature, kind of connect with the nature. I think it goes also with the food piece, like buying more organic foods, like finding farms in your area that you can purchase from, because that just keeps coming up as sort of like a side caveat piece for you. If you already do that, then bonus, but I feel like that it needs to shift and evolve in some way. There's also something about you, like knowing that you're meant to, well, you know, you're a healer, I'm sure, I'm presuming. I should actually put you so that I can, because you keep jumping around as people move. So I have to keep looking for you.
I just am accepting that I feel like I have some kind of gift. I haven't, figured that out yet, but
Yeah,
I'm
a
on
lot
that
of it, and
journey.
it's interesting that you say that, because what I'm getting is that there's this process for you sort of, and again, it's like most of us when we come on the path, we're like, oh, I can't be that. You gotta be kidding me. I know. Like I've always loved psychics, always, all my life. Never thought I'd be one because just wasn't coming for me at a younger age, you know, and I can remember very much when I was new on the path going, you've got to be kidding. There's no way. There's no way. And of course, here I am 22 years later, look what I'm doing now, you know, and that's a lot of what I keep seeing is sort of that 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, like, well, today I can kind of see that. And tomorrow I'm not believing that so much, but they're talking about like sort of pushing yourself through that roadblock for yourself. Like there is this process of like saying, okay, if I don't 100%, I was very fortunate in my life because they always show me things that I understand in my own life to get me to go where I need to go. When I started on this path, I was connecting with a center that I absolutely just love going there. I felt better when I was there. I would take guided meditation, whatever courses, classes, workshops they were doing, I would just go there because it made me feel better. And the owner actually looked at me one day and she goes, you're going to be working here. And I went, I was a medical receptionist at the time. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. I know how to book appointments. And, you know, I know how to, I'm like, oh my God, that would be amazing. And she's like, no, that's not what I mean. She goes, I don't know exactly what you're going to be doing, but I know you're very psychic. She says, you're probably going to be doing readings here. And I kind of went, no. And she was right. I worked there for 13 years. So she was absolutely right. But I actually got to the point where I just allowed myself to believe what she saw in me. And that's what, and went into classes and workshops and, you know, expanded that. And then it started to just click from there. So a lot of what they're showing me is you sort of just having faith with what other people see in you until you get to the point, it's almost like act as if, until you can get to the point to where like, now I'm kind of getting it. Like I love doing this that I just learned. I love working with this, but the healing aspect is a lot of what I see. I feel like almost like you're meant to go into that healing aspect for you, and then your intuition is going to kick in. So Reiki is always the number one thing that I think of when they kind of guide me to this path, because Reiki teaches you so much more than just the healing aspect of who you are. It sort of encompasses you and expands that process for you and tends to expand that sort of intuitive psychic side of who you are, so that then you can start to really connect with that and start to really amp that up more. And I think that's a lot of you. They're saying like almost like you're putting up your own roadblock for yourself, to where, you know, you're like, I want to believe this. Like there's part of you that just so badly wants to believe it, but it's almost like you're escalating yourself to that place to where you're not allowing yourself to just feel it, just go through it. I know that whatever you've done in your life, you were thinking, like you might have had thinking work to where you needed your mind and your brain and everything to be very, very hyper-focused and present. But I think now's the time to where we got to get you on that other side. We got to get you on the other side of that way, where it's just allowing and just opening your arms and saying, I'm ready to receive. Let me be seen. Let me move forward. Let me move on. And there's a lot of that I think would really work for you, is to not think so much. I just think of Winnie the Pooh. Think. If you're into Winnie the Pooh, but it's like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't think about it. Like, let yourself fall. Let yourself go. You know, I give you permission to fail. So I'm giving you permission to fail today. So that'll take care of that. So now you can go and do anything and know that you can do it brilliantly, because you're perfectly imperfect. One of Mary Poppins' famous analogies is that you're perfectly imperfect. And that's who we are. Colleen and I are perfectly imperfect. Nobody starts on us being perfect. There is no such thing as perfection. Clearly, if you look at our universe, you know that all too well. So allow yourself just to be who you are. And I know that you have people around you that are not fully supportive, but that's okay, because you're amazing and that's who you're meant to be. And they will change their opinion or not, but you no longer have to carry them either.
Right. Because
as a healer, you tend to carry them. You don't need to anymore. Carry you. Because what you're going to do is amazing, and we need you. We need you to come and be on the path. Sound like I'm starting a cult, don't I? Come.
Join us.
Great drinks that you can drink. Yeah. Just kidding. But by all means, come on along. You've got amazing gifts. yeah, I think you're really going to surprise yourself when you allow yourself to let go and just come to the light. I'm going to stop before I end up digging the hole any bigger than I already am.
Okay. Well, you come in with some very powerful energy. I agree with Kathi 100%. You are, she mentioned a healer, and you definitely are a healer. I feel like you're also a teacher. You know, you're a healer and a teacher. And it doesn't mean you have to be a formal teacher or anything like that, but you're here to share, you know, like this ancient wisdom and knowledge, because your soul has been around for a while, and it's gained a lot of gifts, talents, and abilities. You are, you know, this energy you come in with, it's like the great mother, the great nurturer, the great caretaker even, but also the great teacher, the great wise one, the one with lots of great like ideas. And one thing they were talking about is, you know, and they brought this up a couple of times, is something about self-acceptance. So, you know, if you have this, you know, we all have wounds, right? A lot of us have wounds of self-value or self-acceptance, but that's what they kept talking about, is accepting yourself, valuing yourself, knowing that you have something to share with the world. You have gifts and talents beyond what you're, you know, that you even recognize. And they were showing me that this particular birthday year cycle for you is one of a lot of clearing, a lot of healing, a lot of purification, a lot of like karmic shifts. And as I talked about earlier, on a collective level, uploads, downloads, activations, like there's a lot going on for you energetically this year that is being activated within you, but it's kind of like a silent journey or a shamanic journey. You know, this year might feel like you feel a little less social, or you feel a little bit more like I need a little bit more alone time. You know, I need to kind of pull back my energies. It might also feel a little confusing, like I don't know who I am or what I'm supposed to be doing or what the next step is. Or there might be circumstances and situations in your life that seem confusing, where there's like a lack of information, or the puzzle pieces aren't quite fitting together, and what's going on and why is this happening? So there's, you know, a lot internally kind of being processed and a lot going on right now. But as you move into next year, it's like, look out world, because you're gonna expand out into more of this, you know, the sharing of your gifts, talents, and abilities. This year is about finding out what those are. And they did talk about like learning new things, taking new classes, reading new materials, understanding your true essence. And they were showing me, or telling me, suggesting for you to accept your cosmic roots. Like I really feel they were showing me these cosmic roots of coming from another star system. And they kept showing me like the feline energy, and the feline energy is like the Syrian, and sometimes it's Lyran, but I don't know if you know anything about starseed, different like the Pleiadians and whatnot, but this is Syrian and Lyran, which is more of that feline energy. And they are usually more of the healers, the peacemakers, the, you know, the nurturers. And they said you have a lot of ability from your starseed roots that they want you to look into and learn about and accept. You have a lot of ability to manifest. Like you can be a great manifester in this life. And the trick with manifestation is to make sure that your mindset, your belief systems, your thought processes, what you're talking about or feeling or visualizing is kind of glass half full energy, right? We don't want to manifest glass half empty. We don't want to manifest I'm not good enough, or we don't want to manifest lack mentality. So again, you're on a learning curve, spiritually speaking, this year, to really delve into a more conscious awareness and outlook of where I'm putting my thoughts and how I'm feeling about this situation. What do I really want to manifest in my life? They were kind of showing, I don't know if this was you in this other dimension or your angels and guides or both, but it was like they were showing this, hey, you know, like this dance energy, like woohoo, like say yes to your cosmic roots, say yes to your gifts, say yes to the ability to manifest, you know, say yes to your sacredness. So, you know, again, this is coming through like this, almost like this shamanic journey in a sense in this year. And I will go back to something Kathi was talking about as far as healing and Reiki. They were talking about like sacred healing, sacred medicine. So I'd say look into things like the vibration of essential oils, the vibration of crystals, the vibration of flower essences, all which can be also utilized with the power of Reiki, being that open channel to, you know, universal healing or the unconditional love of the universe. So I'd say look into vibrational medicines in different way. Medicines being, again, the crystals, the essential oils, the flower essences, or anything else that you're drawn to. But you have the capacity for doing some great things. I don't know what you do. I don't know if you're already doing it, but I feel like if you are, there's more to do. There's definitely more to move into. So, and they did say learning something new, like there's something more to learn or something new to learn. But first, go into that self-love, self-acceptance. I'm good enough and I have something valuable to share with the world. So I hope that helped.
It did. Thank you both. I really appreciate it. I needed that.
You're very welcome. All right, so let's see who's next. I guess it's my turn to choose. I feel like I'm drawn to Janika. Hi, Janika. You want to unmute yourself if you haven't already and tell us your date of birth?
Hi, I'm Jenica.
Janika, sorry.
Hi. It's 6/13/77.
6/13/77.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you have a specific question or just see what the angels and guides have to say today?
A message from the universe.
Message from the universe. Okay. Kathi?
All righty. So
Thank you, guys.
is it Jenica, correct?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. It's interesting. You have the most amazing energy. I was looking at you too. I'm like, now who am I going to pick next time? And I was just kind of like, just looking at everybody. And you have the most amazing energy. Like just this
Thank
very
you.
angelic, higher vibrational energy.
Mhm.
And I
Thank
actually
you.
love the picture. I don't know what the picture is behind you, but that pop of red behind you is like just so perfection for you.
Thank
Yes.
For
you.
some reason. So it's kind of, yeah, just noticing things that around you, because the visual is a big thing for me. The interesting thing is that I know that you're in a place of sort of going into leadership mode for you. Like, it's almost like, I don't know if you've done a lot of classes, but they're talking about, you know, like allowing yourself to go into the teacher, the leader, the guide now. Like you have enough now to be able, and it's not, you know, like me, I mean, I still take classes because it's sort of vacation for me. You know, I love to
Me
watch
too.
somebody else do what I do. But I also love to continue to learn, you know, and that's just where we are. But that's a lot of what it sounds like. You're never going to take another class or you're never going to do anything, but they're talking about, you have this idea of what you want to put out publicly and what you want to teach publicly. And they're saying to start really focusing on that. And they keep showing me sort of like writing it down. So whether it's computer writing it down or, you know, like start writing it down. There's also something about you channeling. Like, I feel like almost like you need to go and allow yourself to just sit. And I would put on a recorder for this, so that, because I feel like being here, getting information from here and having it go through you, it's harder for you. I won't say everybody, but it's harder for you to be here and here. So they're
Yeah.
talking about like, just get a recorder and just allow it to flow through you and record it. And then you can write it later, type it later, you know, whatever we want to do, get somebody else to type it for you. So you don't have to deal with the mundane stuff.
So I'm ready for channeling. Really?
Also, they're also taking it even further than that. Like, they're talking about like they've been channeling through you. So you kind of already know that. But there's also this feeling of like going into trance, like allowing yourself to take a trance class to be able to trance and allow them to come in, because you'd be able to do that. So, and I don't recommend that to a lot of people because I know it's incredibly intensive. So, you know, but allowing yourself, try it and see, you know, can this work for me? Because there is this amazing connectedness. They keep showing me, my God, I just had her name in my head and it went right out of my head. Esther Hicks. Do you know who Esther Hicks is? And she channels Abraham.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
keep showing me her, so that you have the capability to be able to do the same thing and bring amazing information here. But they want you, it's sort of like, they don't tell everybody just to do trance because it doesn't work for everybody. So I'll just say that. But they're talking about like trying it. and seeing if you can
Mm.
cultivate it, because you could do it, but they know the human body can be, it's not, I mean, I do
Right.
trance, it's very intense for your body, for
I've
the,
always thought that I could do it, but I've never gotten the confirmation on it.
yeah,
Oh,
it takes
wow.
a while. It's not something you can just try. I mean, you'll be brilliant at it. I have no idea. I have no doubt. I have no
Oh,
doubt.
thank you. I
You
have
know,
a feeling that well, I can connect to the higher realms, I think.
yeah, you're already channeling them. You're already channeling, it's already like they're already coming through you. And this is
Mm.
what I love, because I'll be talking to somebody and spirit never wastes a minute, never ever. So I'll be doing a reading for somebody and something will come out and I actually, like my Kathy self will be like, that was brilliant.
Yeah,
And I'll
yeah,
even say that to people. I'm like, oh my God, that was brilliant. I got to write that down, because it
yeah.
gets me excited. Like it gets me excited. This is who I am. So this is just how I work. But it's sort of like just allowing yourself to sort of channel, and there's information that they're talking about, like you just need to be open to it all. Because it's not that you're cutting yourself off for the information, but you're almost like, well, I'm going to tell them this, but I'm not going to tell them this.
Yeah.
And they're talking about you can't pick and choose. You have to, like, whatever's coming through you, whatever they're giving to you, there's a reason to share that information. You might pick and choose who you share it with, but they're talking about, like, don't cut off the important information, because it makes it, I don't want to say less valid, because that's not how they're putting it, but they're talking about, like, there's more to come. And when you're sort of cutting it off at a certain point, it's not allowing, like, the rest of the story. It's not allowing the rest of the information to come. So they're talking
Mhm.
about when you sit down to do this, they're also talking about, they're kind of going to take a little sidestep for a minute. They're also showing me that wherever you're doing it in your home, like you might have a space that you have set up, you need to rethink that space.
Mm.
Like there's something not right there. And it's weird. I don't
Okay.
know if there's a window, like you have a wooded view or a nature view that you can sit with your back to it. Like there's something about that.
Sit with my back to the nature.
Yeah. Or visually look at the nature, whichever one works for you. But there's something about kind of the same similarity that I said to the other woman. There's something about sometimes you sitting with your back to it to pull energy and information from the universe. Like it's
Oh,
almost like the earth will give you the energy while you're channeling the higher ups. Like that's a lot of what I get. And then there are sometimes where I know I need the visual view. I just have to sit and look at the visual view. So it
okay.
kind of works both ways. So they're just saying you need to like kind of be in the same space, just kind of move yourself around, period. It's funny because I'm in a totally different room because I'm in my workspace and I'm actually in a different room that I just painted the wall. So there's nothing there for you to really look at. But they're kind of using that, like we need to you need to pay attention to what you need to perfect what you do. So if you need to be outside because you feel like I really need the universe energy today, the nature energy today, then find a place outside that you can set up a little table. You can do, set up whatever you need. Like it's sort of like bringing you into the caveat of what you do. Like that's kind of actually brilliant. Like, if I think, just saying. So and it's going to help you to it also goes with, yes, I get it. It also goes with who's connecting through you, because you don't have just one spirit that's doing that. People think it's a collective. Sometimes it is, like Abraham is a collective.
Mhm.
Sometimes, like I have one spirit that channels through me, that's one spirit that comes with very profound information. And then I have a collective also that comes and channels through me. So it's kind of like, and each one of them wants something different. So I'll just say that. So sometimes I feel more comfortable doing it here in the space than in my workspace. And I have a space at home also. And sometimes I feel more comfortable doing it there because it's what they need. It's the energy that they need to be able to have it come through clearer. So kind of be open to that. And especially where our universe is and how it's shifting, it just makes sense in some ways. But it also makes sense as to why, oh, you disappeared. Oh no, you're down there now. It also will make sense to why, like sometimes you feel as though you're disconnected. Or
I
like
always
somebody, they
feel
keep
that
showing me
way.
a phone, like an old phone that just hangs up on you. Like, we're done. Click. And you're like, no, there was another, wait, there was something else. It makes sense for that. to why that disconnect sometimes will happen to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You have
No.
brilliant things that are coming. You're going to write too. You know that, right? You're going to write a book,
No.
and not just one, and not just one. So it's going to be kind of,
don't believe that.
you're definitely on like a huge crossroads in your path.
Mm,
Like really huge.
wow. Wow. Thank
I'm
you.
excited.
Thank
Stay
you
in
so
touch with you.
much.
I'll come and join. I'll come and watch you.
I am going to be in touch. I've been working. I am going to be in touch, I promise.
I love that. I love
Thank
it.
you. Thank you,
I'll pass it
Kathi.
over to Colleen.
Thanks, Kathi.
As usual, I agree with Kathy. There's a lot here as far as writing, speaking, teaching, sharing information, teaching information, all this knowledge and wisdom that you have. You're actually, of course, you know this, you're a Gemini, right? But you're the
Mhm.
most interesting Gemini when I tune into your energy. It's not like Gemini's like da 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 da, flit from one thing to another. And you might have a little bit of that going on, but you're also very deep. Like you're a very deep Gemini. You're not just surface level Gemini. You know, they're showing me again this ancient wisdom and knowledge, this hidden wisdom and knowledge that you have within yourself, within your soul that comes from other lifetimes. And they were talking about the ability, I'm going to just jump right into it. I was going to like save this, you know, juicy little detail for later, but they were talking about the ability to read the Akashic records. Like, you know, like Kathi, I almost forgot her name. Kathi was talking about like channeling and stuff. And I feel like they want you to start with writing, like automatic writing, channeling first to kind of ease you into the channeling mode. That Gemini energy, right? It's got all that communication stuff going on. But it might be easier to start with like the automatic writing, but you're able to connect with the Akashic realms. So I feel like, you know, that ability to go down so deep, this hidden knowledge and wisdom that your soul has from various lifetimes, is going to be able to connect with and channel information from the Akashic records.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they were talking about, and I feel like this is going to be skipping around a bit. And they said, oh, that's just natural for Gemini energy. Let's just skip from one subject to another. But they were talking about how, you know, Gemini's the twins. And so sometimes, you know, you flip-flop with your thought processes. It's like I can be really positive and confident one minute, and then all of a sudden I disvalue myself and I'm not confident at all, and I doubt myself or doubt my decisions. And they're saying when this negative like thought processes come in, when the negative information kind of pops in, clear, cancel, delete, or clear, cancel, release. Like you have to like really, and say it out loud, because Gemini just needs to verbalize it. It's like, nope, not going there. Clear, cancel, delete, clear, cancel, release, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And really start practicing on shifting your mindset, sort of like when we were talking to Faith about shifting the mindset to a glass half full and making sure that you're focused on the positive. And then they were going into like where some of the doubts or fears or insecurities or whatever was coming from. And I feel like they were talking about going back to like childhood, and we all have stuff usually from our childhood, but something about, and I feel like it's mother's side of the family, maybe. They were talking about the nurturing energy. And, you know, sometimes the nurturing energy can be from the father. So if it's not the mother, you know, but they were talking about like a disconnect, like wanting, you know, like children want that love and attention and recognition and whatnot. And there's something about emotionally maybe not always getting that, and or they talked about, and I'm not saying this part is about your parents, this could be about other people, that I feel like there's a usurping of your energy. Like I feel like you're very highly sensitive, as most light workers are, highly sensitive to the energies around you, and I feel like it's almost like people stealing your energy. And I'm not saying that they're trying to. Sometimes it's just an unconscious thing. But I feel like it gets like usurped from you, this emotional energy. And then there's again this, maybe it's a natural inclination, especially being Gemini. Gemini is such a mental sign that, okay, I'm just going to put up this barrier to my emotional body. And the emotional body is where, you know, our intuition and our instincts and, you know, psychic abilities and healing abilities, you know, comes from partly the moon, the emotional body. So now if we're like protecting ourselves just unconsciously or automatically, and we're putting up this barrier, now we've kind of put up a block, maybe in some regards, to our ability to channel, to our ability to connect with the Akashic records, to our ability to automatic write or, you know, teach or express or whatever it is. They said you also have cosmic roots, starseed roots, like faith. I mean, same information, it's slightly in a different way, but same information was coming through. And I don't know what star system, they didn't necessarily show me that, but they were kept saying divine mission, sacred mission, divine mission, sacred mission. So you definitely have something that you're here to do. And then they skipped to, again, this isn't in any particular order, but they were skipping to some sort of past life where you needed to stand your ground and maybe didn't fully stand your ground. So if they're bringing this up from a past life, it must be some sort of carryover into this life where you need to stand your ground, speak your truth, stand in your truth, say what you mean, you know, don't shy away from it. It doesn't mean if you need to speak your truth to somebody else to be, you know, mean or anything like that, but you can be confident. So I don't, and because the throat chakra is highly evolved for you because you're a Gemini, you know, and Gemini is all about that, you know, speaking,
Truth is like my
speaking
thing.
truth. What's that, honey?
Truth is my thing. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So something about healing this ability to stand in your truth and stand your ground and speak your truth. Also, I can't remember exactly what Kathi said, but she said something about a huge time of shifting for you. You know, I might be paraphrasing, but definitely your birthday's coming up, right? June 13th is your birthday. Which, by the way, they're reminding me of that 13 birthday, and 13 is a karmic number. And a lot of times when people have the 13 prominent in their numerology like that, you hold yourself back. There's like this lack of, again, this lack of self-confidence and feeling not good enough or feeling like I'm being held back, you know, things aren't happening as quickly for me as maybe for other people, you know, and what's going on, there's something wrong. And so the lesson of carbon number 13 being your birthday is patience, perseverance, determination, stick with it, don't give up, don't throw in the towel, don't feel less than, don't get sucked into kind of a depression, because Gemini, again, you might be ha 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 one day, and then the next day you're like, oh, I can't get out of bed, or, you know, I don't want to get out of bed, or whatever it is. So don't kind of give up and throw in the towel. But anyway, going back to your birthday coming up, you're moving into a cycle where there's going to be a lot of clearing, a lot of healing, a lot of releasing, because you're concluding a cycle, so that by the time you get to your birthday, June of 2025, it's going to be this whole brand new beginning. It's going to be like having a blank canvas in front of you, and you're recreating yourself and rebirthing your life in the way that you desire, like what comes next now. It's like all of the old from this coming year is going to be falling away. And that includes situations and circumstances, maybe even certain relationships that are being kind of gently washed away because they're not in alignment with who you are anymore or where you're going next. And by the time you get to your next birthday and that year of new beginnings and planting new seeds and new opportunities and going in new directions, it's going to be like, okay, now what? Like, who am I now? And what do I do now? What's next? So they used reflection as the key word for this upcoming birthday year. They use rebirth as a keyword for the next birthday year. And all in all, the key word for like this 2-year transition time for you was like celebration. They came in like celebration. So that's a little bit about what came in for you from me.
That was so wonderful. I can't even say how wonderful these readings were. And they resonate so much. So I can't thank you enough. I can't thank
Yay.
you enough, Colleen. Awesome, awesome readings.
Well, I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here,
Yeah,
Rebecca.
you guys are awesome readers.
Oh, thank you. All
Thank you.
right,
Okay,
so I think Kathi and I have time for one more, and it's Kathy's turn to choose.
It's funny because before Megan even introduced herself, I was kind of guided to her email address because I like the love bug piece. So Megan's the one I'm going to choose.
Is
for
Megan
our-
here? Oh, there, yeah.
She's
Oh,
there. She's actually showing herself. So yeah,
how did you know her name was Megan? Oh, it's in the chat.
it's in the chat.
I'm like, boy, Kathi, you're really psychic. You just nailed her name there. All right,
Yeah,
Megan, if
changed
you
it
would
real-
unmute yourself and tell us your date of birth. Oh, and by the
December
way,
20,
go ahead. I'm sorry. December
fine, December 22nd, 1992.
December 22nd, 1992. And I wanted to say, anybody that didn't get chosen, the next Cards and Coffee, I might as well just tell you now, the next Cards and Coffee event is going to be Sunday, June 9th at the same time. And also, if you didn't get chosen for a reading, remember that a lot of what Kathi and I like bring up, not just in the beginning about the collective, but even for these individual readings, some of it may ping you or resonate for you. And you're like, oh yeah, that, that feels like it's also for me. And it very well could also be for you. So I don't want you to feel like you're left out if you didn't get chosen. All right. So
Yeah.
December
Some
22nd,
people,
go ahead, Kathi.
some people get some people get the letter, others get the postcard. That's how I always put it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Megan,
So-
did you have a specific thing to look at or just to see what your angels and guides have to say?
Just a general one today would be great.
Okay, Kathi?
It's interesting because a lot of what I was getting before we saw your picture, I was getting a lot of like this lower energy, like just very tired. I guess I'll just leave it like that, just very tired and exhausted energy. And then once you showed your picture, I was like, oh yeah, there she is. So I don't know if it's just your day off and you're just tired, but that was getting that. But it's also sort of this constant sort of fighting. And it's interesting because I almost feel like they're showing me you standing still and then like this constant battle around you. Like there's this energy of fighting around you. And they're talking about being able to sort of like I feel like you're working on your boundaries and trying to set boundaries well for yourself, but it's almost like you need to just go into your heart space and just say what is the true essence of what I want for myself, what I would like to be and what I would like to do. A lot of the readings today are very similar, which is why people tend to congregate together when we do these. There's always a fine line that connects with all of you, and I'm kind of definitely feeling that with you, Megan, with what we've said to the other two people that we've worked with today. But there's a lot of you in the grounded energy of earth. Like I kept seeing you standing out and doing sort of like ceremonies on the earth, connecting with animals of the earth. You have an amazing connection to animals. I kept getting animals all around you, and just that just unconditional love that you have to be given there. And it's almost to the point to where I feel, and you tell me whether I'm right or wrong, but I feel more like you're more connected to animals than you are to humans. Does that make sense at all to you?
Yeah,
Like you trust them more, like you would trust an animal more before you trust a human. Does that make
most of
sense?
the time.
Yeah, of course it depends on the animal because there are a few, but I keep getting that, and they keep showing me you like in the moonlight. Like there's a lot of like shamanic energy around you. There's a lot of like, I'm just gonna be blunt and say like witch energy around you, like that sort of like coven energy, that connectedness, that universal. But it's just the wisdom that you carry with you that is so nature connected. That's why I keep getting shamanic and like Wiccan energy, because it's very nature connected energy that you have. It's a lot of like, I could see you working with the earth, working with animals of the earth, sort of like enlightening this profound energy to sort of heal the grids that are happening with the earth, because they're shifting and changing too, just like we are shifting and changing. So is our earth, as we can see. But there's a lot of that, and sort of taking time with you. It's funny because I know you're very moon connected. So do you love the full moon when there's a full moon?
Oh, I do the ritual every month.
Because I feel like that's your peaceful place. Like if you were going to meditate, I'd say when there's a full moon or a new moon, go out and just connect with that energy, like connect with that. Like like find your peace through doing that, because that's a lot of what I'm getting for you, is that sort of like, almost like I want to get you out of a house to do a meditation. Like I want you to sit on the land. I want you to connect with a tree. I want you to pull in animals around you to give you that peace. And just knowing that there's a lot of love that comes through you to that earth space, and that connectedness. And, you know, it's, your guides are just so connected with shamanic energy, like Native American energy. So like even what Colleen was saying earlier to somebody about the essential oil vibration, the flowers is what's in my head, flower vibration, the tree vibration. Like I feel like vibration's a big thing for you. That feeling is a big sense for you. And it's not that when feeling comes that we don't sometimes verbalize it or even like visually show it to people, but it's sort of like allowing yourself to come in and work through that and changing your vibration to be able to handle sort of that bigger earthly energy. I think people around you are just sort of overwhelming you. And I don't know if you're new on the path or not, but it feels like you're new on the path. Like you're going through such a change within yourself that it's sort of starting, it's that time where it's starting to pare people away from you, that you're finding that you really just don't want their energy around anymore. And it's okay, because through making that space, you're going to find your tribe. You're going to find the people that you do connect with and that help to inspire you and evolve and shift. There is a writing piece for you, but I'm going to tell you that I almost feel like what you would write would be more symbolistic, as opposed to like letters. And I don't know, you have this really cool, I don't even know what to call it, because I don't want to belittle what it is, because it's not something I'm all that familiar with, but I keep seeing sort of like triangles and etheric and sort of almost like if I was looking at hieroglyphics, that's kind of what it reminds me of, but it's like almost like that communication way that it works for you. Does that make sense to you at all?
Yeah.
Like runes are a good thing. Like runes would be a great thing for you to learn, because I feel like you would just get like the symbolism of the symbol. Kind of a weird way to put that, but yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, I just think that you have, but it's not. So I always think of like physicists when they start showing me symbols, I'm always like, oh, that's like way above. Like, I mean, I know some symbols. I'm a Reiki Master teacher. I've been teaching it for, 21 years. So I get some symbols and I get what they mean to me. But then you have that evolved mindset that sort of like goes way beyond what I would understand. Yours is very like nature connected, like runes. I love runes. I think they're the coolest thing. Totally would get them. Like geomancy is a great idea. Create your own. That's what I would say, is like create your own vision of what that means to you, because I feel like almost like these interesting symbols have come to you that you might not even be able to find them anywhere. But I feel like they're very grounded. I feel like they're very earth symbols, like very connected to earth. It's like very fascinating to me. Like I would love to know what it is, because I'm all about learning after all. And I love when people do stuff that I don't do, because I'm like, oh, that sounds so cool. But it's sort of that moonlight connected to the earth, that sort of show. And they keep showing me like you looking at a vision of the earth, and you just tend to see a symbol or something appears to you. It's interesting. So they're showing me things that I know that are not at all what you're going to be doing, but I keep looking at trees and going, I need to like start taking pictures of trees, because I keep getting like oracle deck symbols for me. Like I'll look at the way a tree is positioned and I'll get this whole sort of like spiritual meaning to what that means, because I really kind of would like to create my own deck of cards. So I'm just going to say that. But it's just the visual that I see when I'm looking at that. And I'm like, where is my camera? Like, where's my phone so I can take a picture? But it's something similar to that, but it comes more intensely defined, because that's the only way I can think of to put that for you. And a lot of what you're going through, like sort of that sort of, I'll say inner fight, because that's what it feels like to me. That's kind of the reasoning, because there's part of you that wants to be there now. Like most of us, we're impatient. We don't know what patience is. We kind of want it to happen. We want it to happen now. And then there's like pieces of it are there. So I almost want you to like start writing things down, because I think it's going to help you to sort of evolve and take your mind off of thinking, I just want to be there. I just want to be there. I just want to be there. Does that make sense? So you'll see
Yeah,
as you start to write and you start, sorry, I asked you a question and I started talking. It kind of happens. I see you sort of writing it down and then it's starting to really, really make sense to you. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's been here all along. I just haven't really.
I'm slipping into it right now.
Exactly, because I'm
Right
already seeing
now,
how
I'm
your
slipping
energy has
into it
slipped.
as you're talking.
Oh, that's funny. I'm already seeing, Megan, how your energy has already changed just from when we first started talking to you. So it's kind of interesting.
Okay.
I'm going to pass it on to Colleen so that we don't run out of time.
All right, let me just get myself resituated here because I was just gonna let Kathi continue to talk there for a minute. All right, so when I tuned in to Megan's energy, the first thing they showed me is like this strength about you, this leadership energy about you, this take charge energy about you. Like, first and foremost, I want to say if you don't run your own business or if you're not an entrepreneur, I feel like you need to be. Like, I feel like you are like managerial, supervisory, I run my own business, I do my own thing kind of person. I feel like you're a Capricorn because you're the 22nd. Is that correct? You're Capricorn? Yeah. So, you know, Capricorn, they have these goals, these as ambitions, they'll work hard to kind of, you know, rise to the top of their field. And your energy, I agree, is very earthy, in a sense. And you have that master number 22 birthday. So, you know, we talked about a karmic number for somebody else. You have a master number birthday. But when they were showing me that master number 22, which is the manifester, this is the one that can like create something long lasting. They're known as the master manifester in numerology. And with you being a Capricorn, like it's go all the way or go home. Like you can really do big, big things and great things. But they did say again, sort of like that karmic number 13, if we add the 2 and the 2 of the 22, it's a 4. If we add the 1 and the 3 of that karmic number 13, it's a 4. So sometimes it can get in a stuck kind of energy where it feels again repressed or limited or held back or depressed or and especially when it comes to like relationships for you and relationship interactions, not just romantic, but it could be professional and business. It could be friendship relationships where there's a real need for equality and equal give and take, and let's work well together and let's not get imbalanced, sort of like the sign of the scales. I know you're not a Libra, but it's like when the scales become imbalanced between you and another, it can really cause a lot of frustration. This is leading up to something because the first message they came in with was about watching your words and watching your thoughts. Because I feel like, you know, and this can be against yourself, but it can also potentially be projected onto others where you get frustrated again, for lack of a better way to say it, even angry, you know, why did this person act like that or treat me like that or whatever. So they're like, they were saying you have a very strong spiritual power about you. So you need to watch your thoughts and watch your words and practice, they said, forgiveness. And again, that can be towards yourself as well as towards other people, to where, you know, I should have done this, or you know, I should have said that or whatever, and I didn't, or I didn't take advantage of that opportunity when I should have. And now it's past the time for me to, you know, to kind of come into that opportunity. They're saying, forgive. Life is a journey, you know, and where we go in our circumstances and situations and the situations we have with other people, the connections with other people, it's all a big learning kind of journey here. They showed me again, all three of you that we did readings for today, this cosmic sort of energy. They were talking about, and I had to write it down so I wouldn't forget, because the phrase they gave me was powerful, ancient, spiritual warrior. You're a powerful, ancient, spiritual warrior that comes in with, again, star system, cosmic, starseed sort of roots. They almost showed like a lifetime. And again, it could have been an otherworldly, you know, starseed lifetime, but sort of like this almost like a priestess garb on the head, like, when they wear like, I don't know if it's a crown per se, but then there's like a jewel over the third eye, it's almost like a very Egyptian, ancient priestess sort of garb on the head. And they showed this kind of, again, I'm going to use the word priestess, this priestess energy of moving forward on the path, letting go of what you no longer need. And they did say that you are in a birthday cycle where there's a lot of emotional body cleansing and releasing that's going on right
Right.
now.
So
And
I'm
then-
gonna start my car up and you're
Okay.
going to start right
Okay.
here. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Can I keep going?
Yeah, sorry. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So this clearing and releasing of old emotional karmic baggage from other lifetimes was happening so that it would open the space for a new soul expression, a new level of creation of something new. And they called it the sacred plan. So you're in alignment to move into what your sacred plan is all about. So just kind of, let go of, these old subconscious belief systems or this old emotional wounds. Again, go back to that forgiveness piece that they talked about earlier. It's like, okay, been there, done that. This was something with that person long ago. Let's forgive and move on. It doesn't mean you have to be reconnected with that person or, forget to set your boundaries in the future. But we can, again, still like open our heart to forgive. They showed this big kind of golden yellow light around the heart chakra. That really is kind of opening and expanding your heart chakra. And then they were saying that they were talking about the new moon, and we do have a new moon on Tuesday. So there's something about this new moon in Taurus. And I know you're a Capricorn, which is another earth sign like Taurus is, but I would find out where in your astrological chart that new moon in Taurus at 18 degrees falls in your chart, because they said it's activating some sort of new beginnings for you. And new moons are, a phase of the moon of new beginnings. So where in your astrological chart is this new moon in Taurus activating new beginnings? And I asked what kind of new beginnings they were referring to. Like, is it more, like job or something tangible, or is it energetic? And they were saying your sense of power. So we're activating this energetic sense of power within you and these gifts within you. And one last thing, a particular ascended master popped in, and it was Saint Germain. And I don't know if you work with Saint Germain, but Saint Germain, like with this, violet transmuting flame of light, came in to help you to release that old and to alchemize. That was a specific word, was alchemy, divine alchemy, where you're taking a substance or an energy and you're transmuting it, or you're transforming it into something new. So that's what Saint Germain is going to help you with, is that violet purple kind of flame of Saint Germain, kind of burning away, all of the old energies that you no longer need, so you can move into something new. And I see we've lost most of our people, and we are at 10 after now that I look at the clock, but that's kind of what I've got for you, Megan. I hope that was helpful. Megan, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you. I don't use Zoom a whole lot, so sorry about that. But thank you guys so much for the reading. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Megan. Thank you
welcome.
for attending. We appreciate you, and we appreciate your gifts.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. So thank you so much for attending. Again, what did I say? June 9th for the next Cards and Coffee. And we'll see you all on the flip side, everybody. So thank you so much, and have a great day and a great month ahead.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to stop the recording if I can figure out how. There we go.